niggas. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, we can find your way, man. Find your way, man. We can find your way. Yeah, take a look around you, we can find your way, man. We can find your way. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical. Clearly now, the pain is gone. The fame is on. And they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk. And move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off. No knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh, Santa's coming.
Ho, 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 you lazy beesh.
No! I literally just flushed 5 times and it's clogged.
Number 1, a big gulp. Number 2, Pringles.
You are going to have diabetes eating this shit.
You better go, go, go to the fucking gym.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing. Testicles. Ooh. Welcome everyone to episode Look at this camera. 2406 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yellow hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you be
fucking Catalina wine.
Yeah,
it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Are we sharp? Are we sharp as attack? Are we sharp as attack? We're looking good. Fam, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Morning Swole. It is Wednesday, December the 7th. Smash that like button, of course. Share the stream. And drop in the comments down below. What are you smashing today? If you did smash already, my goodness, you are an early bird. We have a great show today. Let's jump right into it. How are we doing? Cerny, yes, church is back, everyone. Church returns. Church returns. She's back. And of course, Rufus taking up all the space on the Tainty Cam. Make sure you check the links in the show notes below. We got some specials going on right now over at papaswolio.com. I know a lot of you use the code Daily Swole for 10% off, but for a limited time, we got some holiday specials. Just going to pop this up on the screen while everyone's kind of coming in and getting ready. 15% off the holiday collection. So Frosty the Swole Man, you have All I Want for Christmas is Sick Fucking Gains. Check it out. It ends on the 9th, so that's Friday at midnight. Go to papaswolio.com and use code HOLIDAY at checkout for 15% off all merch in the holiday section. The details are over there in the title or in like the header of the page, so you can go and check that out. All right. I know. Amazing. Amazing. Jessica crushing chest and tries. Fantastic. Beaches, let's bust the nut open. Let's get today's party started. Great hashtag today. Great Swole card. I'm stoked to open it up. So let us summon the Falcon and get today's party started. Here we go, Ben. Oh, voice of an angel. Put some respect on your booze. And there you have it, fam. Hashtag most people don't. Hashtag most people don't. Drop that in the comments below. And this card is one of the best cards. And I have this actually on my left monitor. It's one of the cards. I have 5 cards over here on my left monitor. A lot of them are on the wall, of course. But that's one of the most important cards that I have. I see it every day. Most people don't. You can use this for any application. I mean, we used to do this card a lot a while back, and then we got into the dick draft, and we got into the thyroid, and all these other issues. I know.
Matt Damon.
I know. But most people don't. Applies to everything. So if you want to be average, you do what other people do. Because that's what fucking average is. Just going along with the sheep, doing what other people do because they're doing it. Because going against the grain, doing something unique, doing something for yourself, pushes against the grain. It goes into the headwind. It is uncomfortable. It is delayed gratification. You're going to get negativity. You're going to get pushback. You're going to get people trying to drag you down to their level, giving you shit for making your own meals, for opting to go to the gym instead of going out drinking, for blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you're going to have people pushing back because most people don't. It's going to shine a light on most people's insecurities because you're going and getting after it. They're not. They know they're not. They see you doing it, and then they're going to lash out because fear, anxiety is going to come out as anger, and the people closest to you oftentimes will give you the most shit, and it's going to hurt the most, but you have to remember that most people don't. So when you remember that most people don't, and you do what most people don't do, guess what? You're going to get some pretty fucking awesome results. Straight up. And like John said, Pearl Harbor, it's December 7th, so long time ago, but not too long ago. Not too long ago, Pearl Harbor. So a little America for America. All right. Never forget, always remember, and remember why we're here today and those that have lost their lives defending our amazing nation. Always important to remember that. Thank you, John, for the history lesson. Indeed. I can't believe it's December 7th, by the way. I can't believe it's December fucking 7th. I can't believe we're like just really around the corner for 2023. Just closer and closer and closer. John, I remember this one. I love it. This one. And This Is When People Quit are my absolute favorites. What a great way to start the Swolecast. Yep, indeed. This Is When People Quit. That's another one. This Is When People Quit. Wasn't that a signature series? This Is When People Quit. I think that was like, I think that was 2 or 3. No? Someone dropped that. I forget which one it was. But that was a signature series. G.I. Jew in the house. Here we go. Fuck yeah. G.I. Jew about to hit a morning walk after some breakfast Wagyu steak. All right. Good for you. All right. So most people don't. Let's get into that tip, fam. Before we just stay here all day, just edging. Let's fucking get into it. Here we go. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. Let's put it in. Don't be shy. Let Papa in.
Because.
All right, here we go. Let's get into first Swole fan post. We talked about the merch. A reminder, I'm going to talk about this every day because it's fucking awesome. Thursday, December the 29th, we have our Swole Year release party. So be there. It's going to be, like I said, time to be announced. I think it's going to be either at 5 or 6 p.m. So mark your calendars, Thursday, December the 29th in the evening. We're going to have our release party. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be magnanimous. We're going to recap everything from 2022, and we're going to release brand new shit for 2023. It's going to be fucking lit. So be there. Thursday, December the 29th. It's going to be absolute fuego. It's going to be a fucking firestorm. Let's kick off today's Swole fan post. We got one from Colton. Colton en la casa. Colton writes, "Hello everyone, I'm new to the Swole world. I've been going to the gym on and off for the last 5 years. I'll get motivation to go. I do the same 6 workouts without guidance, so I stop, gain some pounds, and the cycle starts all over. There's a lot on the website trying to navigate it. Going through the quote vault, I found the 4-day Swole and the workouts to go with it. They are in PDFs, and I'm wondering how everyone in here is keeping track of their programs. Are you printing them off? Is there something I'm missing? I'm excited to get this journey going. Thanks for any and all help." Well, Colton, everyone does it a little bit differently. Welcome to the fam, by the way. Everyone does it a little bit differently. I would recommend if you're new, I would recommend doing the 90-day dash program. I think a lot of people would concur with that. This is from the Facebook group, so if anyone wants to pitch in and go into the Facebook group and respond to Colton's post, doing the 4-day Swole workouts, that's cool. I would honestly think that you should do the 90-day dash. You might be used to lifting, and I'm not sure what you're normally used to doing, but what you're referring to, the 4-day Swole, those are like different program splits. Those are more like custom programming. I would recommend doing one of the standard programs or do Swole season. And so 90-day dash, I would recommend for anyone and everyone. It's an all levels program, and you can progress it, you can regress it. It's a great program. But if you want to do Swole, I would also recommend, if you wanted to jump right into that, I can't stop you. I would do Swole season. I would do a structured program if you can like that. Not that the 4-day Swole isn't a structured program, but it's set up to be a little bit more custom. It's kind of like a little mini structure for a program without like a macro plan. It's like, hey, I want to train 4 days a week. Here's a good structure for 4 days a week. So then you can actually, and in terms of everyone's strategy, I know a lot of people either print out PDFs or they write it in a journal, and they have their own little custom approach to it. So you can follow up with Colton and, give your recommendations with how you execute it. I know a lot of people just put up on their screen, so they'll have their laptop, or they have their laptop, or they have a TV, and they put it up, so they have the workouts and the exercise they're going to do, and they put it up there. Everyone has their own little, or they take a screenshot and they have it. Everyone does a little bit differently. Okay, Frank is release party for members only. Indeed. So that's a private episode on that Thursday. Indeed, it is. Good question, Frank. Yeah, it's for members only, and all memberships. For those that might be thinking about joining, whether you're standard, premium, or unlimited member, you get access to all the private live streams. So any membership you join, you get access to the private groups, the Telegram chat, Swole text, Discord, the discussion boards, all the private live streams, Swole TV. So with all memberships, you get access to all the private stuff. Let's get a little church. Oh, she's so damn cute. God damn, fuck, God, I'm so sexy. You're so sexy. And all the tainty, man. Look at that taint. My goodness. Everyone's just bringing the pain today. Oh, my God. All right, let's see here. Let's get into another Swole Fam post. Next one here is from Dave. Dave in the discussion boards. What's up, Beaches? Hey, Beaches. Joined to support his swoliness, to further my knowledge on the 7 pillars and try to recruit and give the knowledge cock to others at the F45 where I'm a head coach at, and of course to further my sick fucking gains. Welcome, Dave. Is F45 one of those, I guess, a head coach? F45, is that like a 45-minute? Is that like one of those group exercise type places? Anyone else familiar with it? I think that's what it is. I've seen the logo. I can picture it. I've never been. I don't know all the details. But welcome, Dave. And super stoked for you spreading that KC. Excellent. Oh, we got Joe in the house. Now, we shared Joe's pictures yesterday. He lost like 230 pounds. Unreal. James says his name is Joe. James in the text. It's all good. Gym time. No waiting for equipment this morning. Oh, wait. It's 3 a.m. and all the sane people are asleep. Holy shit.
Wow.
Now, if you want to know how to lose 230 pounds, you don't necessarily have to lift at 3 a.m. like a psychopath, but you got to do what you got to do. And I will tell you that if you're losing 230 pounds, you're doing whatever it takes to get it done. And fucking Joe, training at 3 a.m., that's a fucking beast. That's an early session. That's an early session. Fuck. 3 a.m. What time do you all work out? Drop in the comments. You're crushing it, Joe. You're crushing it, Joe. I'm just teasing you. But 3 a.m. I mean, if you got to work at 5, you got to train at 3, right? Or if you get off the evening shift and you train before you go home, like whatever it is, you got to do what you got to do. And if I had to work at 6 a.m., and I did it before. I remember like in college when I was trying to bulk and I had a summer job. I had to work at 8. I think it was like 8 or 9 sometimes. And I was training at 6 a.m. I know 6 a.m. is not 3 and 6 a.m. is not like an abnormal time to train, but I was doing it before work. Do it first. I don't want to do it after work at like 4 or 5 o'clock when I was wiped out and everyone, plus the gyms are packed in the evening. You're dragging ass and the gyms are packed and it's just, no, train first. The best thing to do is to be at work all day long with a sick fucking pump. Am I right? You're at work all day with a sick fucking pump. That's like the best. That's the best thing to do. All right, we got a post here from Jennifer, and Jennifer writes, "Hello, Swole fam. I'm Jennifer. I'm so glad to be a part of this community. I follow a bodybuilding style workout regimen and have been on my fitness journey for a few years. I'm going to post some photos of me along my way and where I am now. I've gained and lost, fell off and jumped back on the wagon, and the only thing I can say is I have never given up and I have never stopped. Apologies if you hear some background. It's doing some yard work at an inopportune time. Don't you know the fucking swole's going on, man? You tell him, church. Don't you know the fucking Daily Swole's going on? I'm telling you. The disrespect. I get no respect. No respect. All right, it should be gone soon anyway. Jennifer's awesome post will get us through. My biggest struggle currently is the daily glass of wine or beer at the end of the day. I've never drank daily before, so I'm focusing on limiting alcohol and keeping up with my nutrition and activity. I've never drank daily before, so stop drinking daily. That's not good for you at all. I've never drank daily before, so I'm focusing on limiting alcohol and keeping up with my nutrition and activity, and I know I can get past this rut I'm in. I'm proud of myself for staying consistent, but I know that choosing to drink is keeping me from the next level that I want to reach. This is where the 7 pillars come in. I plan to follow it to the best of my ability and may need some help along the way. What's your best advice? I'm ready to knock it out of the park this time. Well, first things first, I would get rid of all the alcohol in your house. Get rid of all the alcohol in your house. You're also going to need to practice brain gains. That's going to help tremendously. First, great progress. We love it. We love it. Welcome to the fam, Jennifer. We have a lot of people in the Swole fam that have given up, have kicked alcohol to the curb. So there's going to be a lot of help for you here in the Swole fam. So this is from the Facebook group. So please go and comment on Jennifer's post and give her some advice if you have any personal experience. But one, you should not keep it in your house. That's for damn sure. A drink a day is terrible for the human body. It's bad for your brain. It's really not good for you. It's not this mythical, oh, a drink a day is good. It's not. It is not at all. So you have to remove yourself from those environments. I don't know how you're drinking every day, like if it's at home or you're going to happy hour or something. It's like a routine at work. Like, I don't know. But that's a big thing to kick. And I think the Swole fam will have a lot of help with that. I would also recommend the book Atomic Habits. It's a fantastic mental structure and framework for you to learn how to build habits, because habits are everything. Habits are absolutely everything. The 7 pillars are all about habits. You have to create habits in order to execute the 7 pillars more effectively and more efficiently. And it's very, very important that you make these negative habits or these bad habits invisible, that you remove them from your life. And this is what pillar number 1 comes into play. It's about your community and your environment. So your environment has to be completely void of the things that you're trying to remove, the things that you're trying to conquer. So like I said, if you're addicted to junk food, you can't have these things in your house. You can't have candy and cake on the counter and think that, oh, willpower, I just won't eat it. Get the fuck out of here. Right? I mean, who you trying to fool? We got a couple Swole fam comments I want to follow up because alcohol is a big issue in our country, in our world, and Jennifer can definitely use our help. Let's see. Brenda says, Jennifer, I'm on day 18 of my 60-day alcohol fast. Brenda's going to stretch that to 120. Put a Facebook banner up announcing it to all your friends and family to keep you accountable. Now, one thing that I, want to be mindful of is you don't want to make it like a 30 or 60. Jennifer, you need to make this the new you. You need to make sure that these things this poison is sucked out of your life. So if you're sitting there thinking like, hey, I'll do it for 30 days, then like 30 days is going to be over and then, the party ensues. So I'm not saying that you need to go to AA or anything, Jennifer, but this is a bad habit that can definitely expand and can go deeper and deeper. And the problem with these these individual habits, this one thing that you're focusing on, is it really the alcohol? Is it the alcohol? It's a big misconception. It's like, oh, it's the drink. Well, it's everything that leads up to that drink. Like, what else is going on? This is where brain gains can help tremendously. Mindfulness. Like, what's leading you to that drink at night. I don't, it doesn't say, you don't say what you're drinking. A glass of wine or beer at the end of the day. Like, what's leading you to that? Why is that your reward? What's your schedule? What other habits? What's your nutrition like? What's your hydration like? What is leading you to that point? There's more to it than just that, because for some people it's going to be a soda, for some people it's going to be cake, for some people it's going to be ice cream. This is just one replacement. This is one thing in place. That's a placeholder for something else. A mega pint of wine. Let's see, Jessica. Now I'm so far past it that I can be around people drinking, and I'm not only not tempted, but generally kind of repulsed by it. Honestly, I hear you. Jorge, G.I. Jew. Remember, this is your path, and nobody is going to live it for you. Fuck people. What people might think. You're not taking that drink because you now know something they don't. You're smarter. Fuck what people might think. I got you. The spell correct. Well, that's good. I agreed, Brenda. I know you're good for it. I set a 60-day no alcohol to solidify the habit of not drinking regardless of where I am. Your brain gains made me realize I'm seeking a change in state, not the wine, cookie, etc. Well, I appreciate everyone's feedback. And I definitely think you all should welcome Jennifer. So go in the Facebook group, and everyone that's had, especially those of you that have personal experience that are dealing with it, or that like Brenda and everyone else, I would make sure you go in there, because these are things that I'm just trying to relay from seeing this post for the first time off the top of my head. So just make sure that you go and give her support, because a lot of you have undone those bad habits, but like at a much deeper level. Matthew from our What's Up Beaches section on the discussion boards. Matthew writes, Swole fam, my name is Matt S. It is good to be here. Got into lifting after high school and made some newbie gains until I went into the workforce. Getting a house, getting married, etc. Deprioritized lifting weights like a beach. Now I am ready to seriously get back into it and get swole as fuck. Papa is a goddamn savage. I plan to embody his spirit and slam some iron around. My goal, be better than I've ever been and lift some heavy fucking weights. It sounds like you need some Papa Swolio apparel. The Papa Swolio is my spirit animal. Welcome to the fam, Matthew. Welcome. And thank you for those kind words. Super stoked. All right. Some of you were asking about questions. Yes. Well, that was nice. I
give it a 10. A fucking 10.
It feels good. What do you think, Tainty Man? What do you think? Did I get it? That was nice, right? Come on, bro. Bruh. That was nice. Rufus, that was nice. Don't look at me like you're disgusted. You do worse. You used to rip ass in here. Appreciate you not doing that lately. I think I jinxed it. All right, if you got a question, drop in the comments down below. Hashtag #AskPapaSwirlio. We'll get into some questions. Let's take one from Kobe Cousins in the house. Papa Swolio. Hey man, I've been struggling for almost a week with digestion problems. Every time I consume a food or drink, I'm feeling chest pain and heartburn sort of thing. Well, there's two different things. Chest pain is not heartburn. Chances are, yeah, it sounds like every time you consume food or drink, that's pretty serious. I don't know what you're eating, but I used to have hardcore acid reflux, which is heartburn. Same thing. And I had to overhaul my diet completely. And this is when I was eating lower quality chicken. I was eating a ton of protein, but it was like, chicken. These chicken breasts were like the size of your fucking head. They were the opposite of like no antibiotics. Like these chickens were, I don't know what they were. They were like velociraptor chickens. And I was eating I just wasn't eating what I should have been eating. And I started having like crazy heartburn. I started feeling really uncomfortable. Every time I would like lay back, I would have, acid reflux. So, because you're saying you have chest pain, I'm just going to have to say, go to a doctor. You know, it's most likely acid reflux and something along the lines, but it can get really severe. There could be something else there, so you're better off checking to see if there's like anything else like acutely wrong. But I can give you my opinions and some thoughts about it. Kobe says, I've gone from eating crap at the start of the year to 4 months fairly clean. Well, it can take you several months. And fairly clean, that ain't clean, bruh. So fairly clean lets me know that it's probably not what you should be eating. So clean is your opinion. I don't know what that means. So I personally don't like the term clean. I think that's nonsense. That's like this bodybuilding bro term where it's like, I eat clean. Well, I mean, again, it's like chicken and broccoli. That's garbage. So I don't think that's a good option. So when someone says they're eating clean, that's their opinion of eating well. But I would, because you said chest pain, you should go and get something checked out. You should go and get it checked out. That way, you know for sure it's not something more sinister. All right. Kobe, I'm eating some grains. That's the worst thing in my diet. What are you eating? I mean, grains are terrible, in my opinion. It could be the rice too. Rice is not something that should be like a main go-to either. Maybe in smaller quantities. What type of rice? What are you putting on it? What are you cooking in? Grains are definitely no good, in my personal opinion, in my experience. But doing elimination diet is very important. So I had it really bad, like a long time ago. I didn't know any better. So I went like vegetarian or vegan. I went like alkaline. I was like, I'm just going to eat tons of greens, tons of this. And it went away. But I was craving, and it was after 6 months. It took 6 months. And it went away. So it's like, oh, vegan or vegetarian, that's the answer. I was craving meat so bad. I felt it. I always say this. I felt it in my DNA. I felt like in my spine, like I needed steak. But by that point, over the 6 months of me, like, because I was learning the whole time. I was learning about alkaline. I was learning about grass-fed and, glyphosate and all this stuff. This is like 15 years ago. Maybe not that long ago. Maybe like 12 years ago, 13. So I was craving meat so bad. When I came back, I only ate. I was like, all right, I'm going to start implementing. I think I had fish. I always forget if it was vegetarian and just like no steak, no meat, no chicken, and it was fish, or I forget if it was complete vegan. But I remember I was, it was just a lot of salads and stuff like that. And I didn't feel good. I felt better. So I realized after a while, when I first started going away, my acid reflux, it was so bad because I was taking Prilosec. And I was like, I'm like 20, was it 27, 26? And I'm Prilosec. It doesn't make any sense. But that was magic. I take Prilosec and it goes away. It's like, oh my God, I feel so good. But I'm covering the symptoms. I'm not fixing the problem. So I started feeling better, but then after I felt better, I didn't have the acid reflux. I just started feeling weak and fatigue. It's just really bad. So I started researching more and I kept on learning. And when I came back, I was like, I'm going to start trying some meat. So I bought grass-fed beef and blah, blah, blah. And then I never had the problem. And like I said, this is like 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago. I never had the problem again. I've never had acid reflux with steak. I've never had acid reflux with quality foods. So then I realized, it's not the fact that it's not the meat, it's the quality of the meat. It's the quality of the food. It's the food quality. That's the issue there. So I had to heal whatever the fuck was going on. And then, bone broth is fantastic. Kefir and those kind of like fermented raw dairy is great. I love that. I've been doing that regularly. So there's a lot of things that you can do to repair your system. But, when you have something like chest pain, can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, well, just, do an elimination diet. If you're saying you have chest pain, you should get that checked out because, worst case, not worst case scenario, but like, hey, you go there and you have a doctor's visit and they're like, oh, you're fine. You just have X, Y, and Z. You don't want to start taking like prescriptions and shit for that, but at least it's not something more severe or something else. Okay, let's see. Jorge, Papa Swole, I've heard many takes in the individual protein intake, like the one that says your body won't process more than 40 grams of protein in each digestion. Others say it doesn't matter. What do you think? I think that's more nonsense. Where'd that come from? your body can only process 40. Some people say 50. I don't know. Is there any evidence for that? I think that's like bro science, or someone just said it and people just repeated it. I don't think there's any protein cap. I'm sure everyone's different. I've never seen anything like that. I don't think so. Bottom line, if you're eating a ton of food, I will say though, if you're eating like 100 grams of protein at one time, you're probably better off splitting it up. So if you're trying to bulk or you're trying to get in a ton of calories, you're better off having 2 smaller meals, like separate them from a couple hours. But I would say you're better separating them a little bit. Like, for example, if you're doing a supplement or something, or magnesium, like you're probably better off doing 250 milligrams and 250 milligrams and 500 at one shot. In general, like give your body, spread things out throughout the day. I'm sure it depends on what you're doing or what you're taking or what the purpose is. But I don't think there's I've never heard of anything. I've heard the 40, I've heard the 50, but I've never heard any actual evidence of supporting it. I've just heard people say it and it's never made sense. Like, everyone's different. And how are you calculating that? How are you calculating that? I'm sure some people can digest more protein than others. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's your gut biome. That's, maybe it's what you're used to eating. So let's see. Brandon from the Telegram chat. Papa Swole, what are your thoughts on glutamine supplements for recovery and immune support? Good idea or complete BS? I think glutamine can be beneficial for leaky gut and stuff like that. I have some glutamine. I took it for a little bit. I haven't taken it in a while. I mean, I can't say I personally notice one way or the other, but I've heard glutamine is beneficial for leaky gut and stuff like that. So in terms of recovery, immune support, I don't know how much of a difference. I don't know if you'll notice a difference. Here's one thing. I have never had any experience that glutamine is bad. Don't take glutamine because it's not good for you. I've never had any issues. I've never had any negative issues from taking glutamine. I just can't say I've seen positive benefits, just nothing that I could notice. So that makes me I'm not sure if it's actually worth taking. But it could be something that's beneficial if you have leaky gut, digestive, to gut repair. But I don't think it's going to be bad for you. I've taken it on and off throughout the years, and I don't know if it's beneficial or not. I can't tell. Positive Charisma, Papa Swole, what's your opinion on flour? I have 20 overripe bananas I could make banana bread with. I don't like to waste. What does flour have to do with your bananas? Freeze them. Put them in the freezer. Slice them up or peel them and put them in the freezer. Flour's no good. Flour's a no-go. I mean, there's different types of flour, but they're usually highly processed, like coconut flour. Oh, it's almond flour. It's kind of, not a big fan of those. I would just freeze the bananas and use them in a shake or something, or eat them later. When you want ice cream, just have banana. But you can choose a better flour. You can, I guess, get coconut flour. It's just powdered coconut or something. But I mean, these are things that people try to use to replace other habits. And it's there's nothing that you need. There's nothing in this world that you need flour for in terms of eating. You don't need flour. So when people that are obsessed with cooking and making cupcakes and oh, I need that, but I'm going to use coconut flour to cook it. It's well, you don't need to make cupcakes either. I'm just saying. Let's see, John, your body changes even if you do an elimination diet and know you're eating healthy. You may need to reassess. I used to have stomach cramps after each meal. Never came back after the elimination diet. Nice. Thanks, John. Let's see here. Scrolling through. All right, we're about through. We'll take a couple more questions if you have them. Let's see. We'll get one or two more. The Martian Returns 45. Father, how do I improve my bench? Ah, yes, my son. There are many ways to improve your bench. I'm not a benching expert. That's a very specific movement that I think is generally overrated, like big time overrated. Like pushing overhead and pressing is important, but I mean, there's a lot of other important things also. I would recommend activating your posterior rotator cuff, your rhomboids, your middle and lower traps, like the posterior portion, making sure that your scapular retractors and depressors are functioning properly. So improving your shoulder mobility will be tremendous for activating. A lot of times people have movement compensations and internal rotation where they're not really able to open up the chest muscles completely, and it's limiting their ability to produce force through the pectoral muscles. Also, there's different types of bars. There's different positions. You don't want your elbows completely out to the side. You want them about maybe like 45 degrees to the sides of you. There's different bars. There's like Swiss bars. There's neutral grips. Dumbbells can be tremendous. You could do negatives. You can have a spotter and do forced reps. So it depends on the conditions under which you are practicing your benching. But I would make sure that you're activating the posterior muscles on your back, like the posterior rotator cuff, posterior deltoid, middle and lower traps, rhomboids. Those muscles are very important to sandwich the shoulder joint, the shoulder girdle, in order to make sure that you are opening up and activating all the muscles that you should be. And I will say, because I do it all the time, the steel clubs, mace, the most importantly, steel clubs. I have a lot of wood clubs and meals and these large ones. The steel clubs are like my go-to. That's the standard. That helps you. It's going to help your grip. It's going to help your wrist, your hand strength, like your grip strength, your elbow integrity, your shoulder integrity. It's fantastic, and it translates into all upper body movements. Your grip strength is going to translate. I mean, it's just, my joints feel like iron, and I couldn't recommend it more highly. The steel club work. Kobe, thoughts on Greg Doucette? I like most of his content, just not everything in moderation. I don't watch his content. His voice is grating, so I never really watched it. I'm loosely aware that he does like a lot of calorie counting. So if you have something in specific, but aside from like superficial, am I a fan or not? From what I've heard, he has his audience. I'm not a fan of like the mentality behind like calorie counting and micromanaging food intake. I think that's nonsense. I think when you focus on food quality, it's much more important for longevity and for overall health and simplifying people's lives and lowering anxiety and, all the cascading health benefits from eating quality foods is much more tremendous than like, oh, I ate 400 calories less. So you might be hungry, you might have nutrient deficiencies, and you still might have chronic inflammation and endocrine disruption and all these other problems and psoriasis and blah, 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 if you're just doing calorie counting. So I don't really know the details enough, because I certainly don't sit and watch his content. And diet soda, and what, he drinks a lot of diet soda. Diet soda is one of the worst chemical trash on the fucking planet. So there's that. Derek, what kind of bacon do you get? I opt for heritage breed pork. You can get pastured bacon. You can find it online. You can find it. I don't know if White Oak Pastures has it, or US Wellness Meats, or Butcher Box. You want to get, I guess they're more or less, quote, grass-fed, but it's called pastured pork. And in certain breeds of pork, like I think heritage breed pork, they're only pastured. I don't think they do well in confinement. There's certain types of breeds where you can look for. Not cheap. I mean, when you start getting into like these specific, types of eating habits, this is why I don't drive fancy cars. I spend money on exercise equipment and food. Like I don't really, because it gets pricey. Some of the stuff gets, and raw dairy, like all this stuff, it adds up. But I have my priorities. And, with any kind of food, you want to get the best quality possible. So you want to make sure it's not fed corn and soy. You want to make sure it's not, fed low quality grains. You want to make sure that whether it's chicken, it's corn and soy free. Same thing with turkey. If you eat those things, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or wild game, or pastured pork, or wild fish, that kind of stuff. And, and when I say expensive, I personally don't think, it costs money, and it might cost more money than other things, but what are you saving in health costs? What are you saving in terms of your own human efficiency and feeling better? Like, what better way to use your money than to invest in what you're putting back in your body? It's like reinvesting in a business. You make a profit, you don't just go and spend the money, your business is going to die. You know, you make money, you invest it back in your body. Your body is used to make money, right? And to provide value to the world. So you get paid in return. Then you buy good food, you put money back in, then you're a better person. You can provide more work and make more money. Not that there isn't or there aren't other things in life than money, but, you know, it's human energy. So what are you providing value for? And invest in yourself. Invest it back in yourself. Nancy, Nordic curls. I would love to add into my knee rehab program, but with my knee replacement, I am not supposed to do things where I'm putting direct pressure on my kneecaps / can't sit on my knees. Insert dirty comment here. Do you have any ideas how to either adapt the Nordic curl or an alternative exercise? Ugh. I mean, Nordic curl that's on the knees, period, end of story. You can do, there's really no replacement for it, but you can get somewhat similar benefits by doing, you can do 45-degree hyper machine. You could do a 45-degree hyper to focus on the glutes and the hamstrings, like do like a rounded back hyper extension, squeezing the glutes. So you're not coming up straight like a lumbar extension, but you're rounding your back and squeezing your glutes to pull yourself up. So it's like a glute focused hyper extension. You can also do standing leg curls. That'd be a good one. It's a very unique exercise, but you can get similar benefits. What you might want to do, it's not the same. A Nordic curl is on a flat surface, but have you seen those glute hamstring devices, like the Rogue ones, right? Like the glute ham. Those are kind of like, they have ones on the floor that are not so much a Nordic curl, because Nordic curls are flat, but you're able to kind of like drop your knees. Like there's space around the knees. So you can still kind of get access to a Nordic curl, but it's like a modified Nordic curl. Have you seen those, Nancy? They're called GHDs, and you can get ones on the floor, or you can get ones that you bolt to the wall. Like there's individual, you can customize it and then put the pad like above your knees. So like there won't be pressure directly on your knees. There'll be a little clearance, but you can do it in a manner that like you're not bending your knees too much while you do it. Look into that. Look into a GHD and you'll see what I mean. That might be, that's probably your best idea in terms of like mimicking the Nordic curl. Yes. Matthew, so it's a dick curl, not a Nordic curl. It's a partial. It's a partial. It's a partial. Yeah, look up GHD. Like, go on Rogue. I mean, there's other places that sell them, but yeah, GHD. It's a glute hamstring. I don't know what the D is for. Glute hamstring device. Brandon, that's not it. That's not it. That's a stability ball hamstring curl. That's a cool hamstring curl. That's nothing like, so on your back with your feet up on a ball. That ain't a Nordic curl. It's much more important to understand like a Nordic curl. In other words, you're like, for that one, that's like a standard leg curl. So the Nordic curl is completely different than a stability ball hamstring curl. Completely different. The Nordic curl is a pull up for your legs. So the same correlation as like a lot of people can do lat pull downs, but they can't do a pull up. A lot of people can do leg curls, but they can't do a Nordic curl. So it's the same thing. It's a pull up for the legs. No, it's a good leg exercise, but it's definitely not a Nordic curl. I would look up the GHD. Can I get a picture? Let's see. Can I get an image quickly? Fuck yeah. All right, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Because you'd be able to... Here it is. Can I pull it up on the screen? Oh, there we go. All right, Nancy, so look at the screen. So this was just pulled from, I don't know, from Google. So you see how the knees are not on the pad? It's just covering my face right now. So you see how the knees are not, how the knees aren't up in the corner, how the knees aren't like on the pad. So people do this for a back extension, but you can just bend your knees and then come up like a Nordic curl, but your knees, like it's easier. It's going to be easier than a Nordic curl. So your knees will drop down before the pad and you can come up like a Nordic curl. In other words, you could do the point where he is. That could be the finishing point, not the end. That could be the beginning point, not the end point. And then just pull up. So your knees are going to clear. So that's a glute hamstring device. I mean, Nordic curls are harder, but that's a good adjustment. That's a good adjustment. Yeah. All right, let's go balls deep, fam. Good stuff.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's deep.
Oh, look at the tainty. Look at the fucking tainty man. Rufus Tantimian. Mr. Tainterman. Oh my God. Fantastic. We got some church here? Hey, baby girl. You're so camera shy. Hi, sweetheart. You're so camera shy. Don't you want to say hi? Don't care. All right, fam. Hashtag most people don't for a chance to win today's Swole card. All right. Most people don't. Most people don't. Most people don't give a fuck. All right. Let's check out some videos of people who really don't give a fuck. Let's see what's up. All right. Let's see the length of these. Ew, ew, gross. Ew, ew, gross. Let's do this one first because it's a short one. This one's called. Look at. Okay, you know it's gonna be a hot fucking mess. Drop some biceps and grills in the comments. Let's fucking go, fam. Come on, let's go.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Let's go. Let's go. Raise the fucking roof. Raise the fucking roof. All right, it's going to be good when you see the person's screen name. And the person's screen name on TikTok is The Chatty Feminist.
Matt Damon.
Nothing worse than a feminist. My God. My God. The worst. The worst. Women. It's like, okay, we like women too. Everyone likes women. Dudes like women. Women like good. Good. It's quiet. Shh. Shut your mouth. Quiet. I'm crossing over.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here.
Here's a friendly reminder that the word fat is not an insult. The person weaponizing it against you is a dick, and being offended by the word fat is the result of growing up in a fat-phobic society that stands to make a lot.
You were close. You were close.
Matt Damon.
Fat, yeah, fat's not a bad word. If you're fat, you could get offended by it. It's not a bad word, though. You just are offended because you're fat.
By the word fat is the result of growing up in a fat-phobic society that stands to make a lot of money of people believing that the worst thing you can be is fat and the worst thing you can do is take up too much space.
Okay, first they're talking like this. No one wants to listen to someone who talks like this. No one takes you seriously if you talk like this. All right, Crocodile Dundee. No one on this planet thinks that fat is the worst thing that you can be. Can you project your internal lack of self? Can you project your self-hatred more? The worst thing you could do is be fat. The worst thing you could do is take up too much space. Too much space. The eyes, Chico, they never lie. They never lie. I need that from Scarface. I only have this one.
I was kidding!
I'm not kidding.
I was only kidding!
The eyes, Chico, they never lie. All right, I'm getting that soundboard. Oh. All right, let's continue this video.
Particularly if you're a woman.
Oh.
It's also rooted in racism and anti-blackness. I've tagged some amazing fat creators in the comments for you to follow and learn more.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Oh my God. There we
Boom
go.
shakalaka!
There we go. There we go. I knew it. I knew it. Glad to know they make them stupid down under too. Also rooted in racism and anti-blackness. Kind of redundant there, Mochambo. It's rooted in racism and anti-blackness. I mean, racism could be against any race, but you said the same thing twice, pretty much. I've tagged some amazing... Said someone marry that. Does she have a ring on her finger? Ew. Who's putting their pee-pee in that? Ew. Stranger danger. I've tagged some amazing fat creators in the comments. All right. If you're known as like, oh, here's a fat creator. These are some of the most racist people that you'll ever fucking meet. If you think of someone, oh, here's someone who makes videos. If you make videos and you happen to be fat, that doesn't make you a fat creator, right? So she's labeling people. The hypocrisy is disgusting. She's labeling people and identifying them as their physical attributes. She's categorizing people and identifying them based on their physical attributes. Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down here? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, here, I tagged a black creator. It's like, you could just tag a creator. That's good. Just tag a good creator. It's like when Netflix is like, hey, want to check out these black movies? No, I fucking don't. I would like to see a good movie. And if there happens to be a black actor in it, that's totally cool with me. Or a black actress, fine. If it sucks, I don't want to see it. I don't care who made it. I don't care where their ancestors came from. I don't care what color their skin is. If it sucks, I don't want to see it. I get this from Amazon too. It's like, you want to read these black books? No, I don't. Am I a racist because I don't want to read? No, I don't want to read a shitty fucking book. I'm sure it sucks. Most books suck. Everyone's got a fucking book, and most of them suck. I don't want to read it. I don't want to fucking read it. I don't care the color of the person's skin that wrote the fucking book. Is it a good book? Cool, I'll read it. If it sucks, I don't want to. Fuck you. Jesus Christ.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Little rant here. Let me tag. I'm going to tag some fat. So yeah, if you're a fat creator, it's not that you're a creator that happens to be fat. It's that you are pro-fat. Like, you are a fat person. Like, I make fat content. If you're a fat creator, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. I'm a fat creator. I'm talking about fat things. Jesus Christ. How pathetic is that? Get a life. Go to the fucking gym. Let's fucking go. Go to the fucking gym.
Don't forget to wash where the sun don't shine.
Makes me nauseous. You're fat phobic, Papa Swole. No, I'm just like, I detest lazy, gross, nasty victim shit. It's pathetic. Like, go do something with your life. Put in some fucking work. No, I'm not putting 5 arms around you just because you don't want to put in any effort. All right. That one looks... I'm trying to figure out... We have 2 more videos. I'm trying to figure out which one is stupider. All right. I'll let you guys decide. Which one do you want? Do you want fat people? Which one first? Fat people on planes or lower expectations for black students? Ooh. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Fat people on planes or lower expectations for black students? I'll give you a hint. The black students one is the person in the video is not black. So you can imagine that. The fat people on planes video is beefy. Fatties on planes. Neither. Too bad you're getting them both.
What's in the box?
Fuck your coach.
Statement, I don't want strangers' bodies touching me. I can totally agree with that. I don't really want a stranger touching me either.
Yeah, all right, not a concern. The TikTok question says, okay, I'm sorry, not trying to be rude or disrespectful. Is it wrong to not want a stranger's body rubbing against you for hours while on a flight? Okay, so I'll play this again.
Statement, I don't want strangers' bodies touching me. I can totally agree with that. I don't really want a stranger touching me either when I'm in a public space, like a subway or a plane. In a perfect world, the seat next to me would always be empty on public transportation, but we don't live in that perfect world. And in the video that I stitched, the question was, don't you feel bad for thin people who have to sit next to you on planes? So we're not talking about strangers in general. We're specifically talking about skinny people who are forced to sit next to fat people.
AKA strangers, AKA people that you don't know, AKA you just completely misrepresented exactly what you just said. Okay.
And looking through the comments of that video, people are openly talking about how disgusting, how vile they think fat people are, how it grosses them out to touch a fat person.
It's the internet. People are going to say a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to touch anyone that they don't know. It doesn't matter if they're fat or not. They just don't want to be like all up on someone.
And I'm sorry, but that's just fat phobia.
It's not. It's someone's personal space and they have a right to it. They have a right to it. If you're on a plane and you purchase, you're essentially renting that personal space for the flight. You are renting that personal space for the flight. You shouldn't have people flooding or flowing over and you have to like be on someone. That is unacceptable. You have a chair, you should have that space and that air around that chair open for yourself, up to the front seat, to the seat in front of you, down below, to the sides. Yeah, your shoulders might touch a little bit, but if someone's morbidly obese, it should be 2 seats or whatever.
Like, you can't excuse that as personal comfort when you're specifically targeting fat people as the source of your discomfort. Also, going back to the original question.
Well, I mean, it's if you're talking about the situation with the planes, like that is the source of someone's discomfort in that situation. I'm not saying and look, here's another thing. A lot of people assume that there's some magical solution. The society isn't the problem. The problem is, okay, fine, it's the size of the seats. But it's one of those problems that it kind of is what it is, because people are going to complain if plane seats are, double or triple in price. So if you make the seats bigger, okay, everyone's in first class, but that's essentially what flying private is. There's like 7 or 8 seats on a plane, but you're paying $10, $20, $30,000 because you're paying for the pilots. You're paying for all the gas yourself. You're paying for the entire plane. You're paying for the FAA. You're paying for everything associated with what it takes for that plane, mechanics and everything, to fuel, to land, the airspace, the landing procedure, the hangar, whatever it is, the taxes, the fees, all that stuff. So you want bigger seats, but then you don't want to pay extra. It's like, well, this is a capitalist. This isn't a communist society. It's like you pay more for having more service. And I guess we could make the seats bigger, but then only the elite will be able to fly.
Don't you feel bad for skinny people who have to sit next to you? In that instance, she's specifically talking about how fat people basically have to put thin people's comfort before their own.
That's not what anyone's saying. It's saying be respectful of people around you and don't invade someone else's space. Like if a fat person's sitting down and a thin person just came over and sat in their lap, I'm sure the fat person wouldn't like it either. It's like, that's kind of how it is.
You can't exist as a fat person sitting on a plane. You have to sit there the whole time thinking, oh God, am I brushing the other person? Are they grossed out sitting next to me?
This is all a conversation inside your head. You have the option to not care and let them deal with it. And the other person has the option to not deal with it either. But of course, if you're buying a seat on a plane, you should be entitled to everything that seat entails. You should be able to sit there without having to be on top of someone, have someone be on top of you. That's just plain and simple. It's not saying, it's not anti-fat, it's not pro whatever, but planes have to make money, and there's things called physics and gravity that you have to overcome. You can't just lift. You can't just have X amount of weight for no reason. You can't have just like a bigger plane. Like, it doesn't work like that. You can't just make a plane that's 3 times the size. It's not the same. It doesn't work.
You don't get to relax on a plane because thin people's comfort has to go before your own.
Not a good argument. This is a straw man. It has nothing to do with a thin person's comfort to go before your own. It has to do with another person's comfort is valid. Like, that person having their space is valid. You having your space is also valid. You just happen, based on lifestyle habits, take up a lot of space. So you're the one that is causing the discomfort. It's not because you're fat, it's because you're the one causing the discomfort. If you were a, quote, thin person or a fit person and you were like hanging your arm over and you were leaning on the other person, that would be the same type of disrespect. That might be a little bit more proactive, but is it really any different? You know, you're in control of that behavior. Now, if you're morbidly obese, you are in control of the behavior that led to you being morbidly obese. No one likes to hear that. It might not be considered a nice thing to say, like, oh, it can be hard for people. Some people are on medication. Yeah, and those same people are still eating shit. They're still eating shit. They're still not exercising properly. There's still a lot of things. And yeah, there might be some limitations at that point after everything that they've already done led them there, that they can't just magically undo it. But who said anything about magical anyway? It's hard fucking work, but it doesn't change the situation that someone that's paying the same amount of money for a seat, if you pay $200 or $300 for an airplane seat, you should be able to sit in that airplane seat without having half of someone's body hanging over into you. That is what it is. And maybe that's something that the airline has to take into account. That maybe an airline, if there's someone, like, you have to mark that, and maybe the airline takes a hit, but then so the airline takes a hit and they say, okay, they leave a couple seats open. You have to mark if you're like morbidly obese. Then they give you an extra seat and the airline takes a loss. But then what happens is then you're taking obese people and you're prioritizing them. So then you're getting a benefit to being morbidly obese. And being obese is something that you can change. You can adjust. You can work on. You can improve. And everyone acts like, well, not everyone. Some people take medication. Come on. For real. People are on medications or on all these fucking things a lot of times when they shouldn't be. And they're on them because of all their habits that led them to that. So, you know, when do we actually pull the plug on, you know, dragging people through life? And when do we put some personal responsibility on their actions? Now, I do also think that education sucks. I do think nutrition education sucks. It's non-existent. It's quite the opposite, actually. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that led that person to that position. But like I always say, it might not be your fault to that point, but it's your responsibility. And people are not raised properly. They're not taught properly. The school system's broken. Everything's fucked. So I do get it. But some people get this information, some people don't. No matter where you are, you have money to spend on food. If you're eating food, you can make better choices from what you spend your money on. You might not be able to be grass-fed beef, but you can get beef. Or might not be able to be corn and soy-free chicken, but you can buy fucking chicken. You don't have to go to McDonald's. Everyone's got choices. I'm not saying there are always good ones, but everyone's got choices. All right.
And I just don't think that's acceptable. Yes, would I prefer not to touch people? Yeah. Would I prefer other people not to have touched me? Yeah. But that is an issue of the size of airplane seats that the airplanes deliberately make very small so that they can pack more people in because they aren't making billions of dollars. So if you have an issue with that, you really should take it up with airplane companies, not individual fat people who are just trying to exist and get to wherever they need to go, just like thin people are.
It's not like that. It's not like that. Like, fat is not some kind of identifying characteristic that you can't change. It's not like you have big ears. I'm like, oh, well, I just have, no, it's not the color of your skin. Your body mass has to do with your habits, has to do with, sure, you could have predispositions to it, but like we saw from James, Joe lost 230 fucking pounds. A lot of you lost a ton of weight. So you're in denial. You're in denial. And yes, of course, the airplane seats are small. I am not comfortable in an airplane seat. You know why? It's not designed to be comfortable. It's designed to put people in there to make it relatively profitable or something, to fly them through fucking space in order to get to a destination in a fraction of the time. Would you rather take a horse and buggy? It'll take you 6 months. Like, this is the world we're living in. Okay? So, you don't want to improve. You don't want to take care of yourself. It's not the airplane seats. Why don't you fit in it? How come airplane seats are designed for the vast majority of people? How come you don't fit in one? Do we ask that question? How come you don't fit in an airplane seat? Is it because of the airplane seat? This isn't a problem for most people. It shouldn't be a problem. It's becoming more and more of a problem because people are becoming more and more people. People are becoming more people. Like, you're becoming more of a person. That's the issue. Everyone's uncomfortable. Like, it's not supposed to be, unless you're spending thousands of dollars on a seat and you have like first class or you're living in like a cabin. It's like, bro. All right. Yeah, exactly. When you're on a plane, you're cargo. You're just not in the cargo hold. Like, they put the luggage down there, and they put the human cargo in the top of the tube, and they put the human cargo in those seats. You strap in with seat belts and stuff like that so you don't fly around, right? Okay, let's do last one. These airplane seats.
What's in the
Jesus
box?
Christ. If you're morbidly obese, shouldn't you be paying like a tax on that because the airplane has to like use more fuel to get off the ground? There we go. Lower expectations for Black students. Ooh.
So we now know that trauma just makes it almost infinitely harder to learn when you're a child. And we also now know that systemic racism is essentially an adverse childhood experience. And many researchers qualify systemic racism as an adverse childhood experience, which means that children who are Black and brown in our schools are expected to be excellent while suffering from complex PTSD. And
there are a lot of white people and white kids that suffer from white PTSD. Jesus Christ. Can you stop talking down? Can this racism stop? Can you stop talking down to Black kids and brown kids? Can you stop talking down to people? No one in the Black community and Hispanic community goes, oh, thank you. No one wants to be fucking pandered to by some fucking libtard. Whitey McWhiterson over here. Shut the fuck up. There are plenty of people with PTSD that are white too, or have less melanin. Ugh. Everyone's living in their little bubble thinking oh, systemic. What, on your brown couch?
top of that, we're also expecting these students to be excellent in a space that is actively hostile to them, their way of being, who they are as people, their history, their ancestors, everything.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. The people, but the students that you're talking to have nothing to do with their ancestors. What the fuck are you talking about? Can we stop blaming ancestors? I don't know what my ancestors fucking did. I don't know. They were in the Mayflower or some shit. I don't, who the fuck? My ancestors, I think part of my lineage came over on the Mayflower. Well, something tells me that the Pilgrims were fucking expelled, essentially. They fled for religious freedom. Everyone's persecuted. Everyone's been persecuted and murdered and marginalized and had to conquer new lands and suffer plagues and blah, 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 blah. No, shut up. Shut up. As you're sitting there on your phone, on Instagram and on TikTok, people used to have to some people still do farm today, right? I'm just saying, in this country, 100, come on, when you have air conditioning and power, it's really hard to complain. Come on. It's hard to complain. I'm talking shit about these stupid videos because it's fun and it's we're using examples of hey, don't be like this. This mentality is the worst of the worst. But there's nothing to complain about. You have nothing to complain about. Absolutely nothing. Sherry, why talk down to them? They're capable and smart. Lots of kids have stress, not just black kids. Fact. Some other comments. John, most people don't address common nutrition deficiencies, magnesium, vitamin D, omega-3s. Lady Hawk, this kind of just sounds like this chick is racist. Everyone likes to, especially these like white chicks, they want to be like they just want to be like this virtue signal warrior. They want to be the superhero. Like, I'm flying in the white knight thing. Like, I am saving you, you black and brown kids that suffer. Oh, there's so much black racism. Shh. Quiet. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Let's get a little tainty. Let's get a little tainty man in church. Let's get a little church. She was sleeping. I woke her up. Everyone say hi to the church. We're going to go balls deep for the swole card. Everyone say hi, church. We miss you. You're so cute. You're so cute, Churchy. You say hi to the fam? You're tired? Yeah. She's so cute. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Ah. Hi, church. Hello. Good girl. You good girl. All right. I guess they're leaf blowing now. We love the church. Everyone loves the church. Let's not forget the tainty man. Rufus. Say hi, buddy. Everyone loves you, buddy. You're the tainty man. You okay? Good boy. All right, so it's the 7th. So 11 days. 11 days. Tainty man in 11 days. In 11 days, he is going to be a year. So he's almost a year. Almost a year. And this bed is epically comfortable. She loves this thing. They're both going to be a year old. They're both almost a year this month. Yeah, people don't have it that bad. We have it so much better than people realize. It's like you're on a phone. You have electricity. You have a refrigerator. This is so much more than so many people have. And it's just perspective. And I'm not like a world-traveled person, but I read, I look, and I listen. And I know what's out there. I know what's out there. And it's worse than what most people think. And not that there aren't beautiful places in some of these like poorer countries. I mean, beauty is everywhere, but just absolutely amazing what people take for granted because you're born in it. You're born in it. You're born in this situation. You grew up with all these amazing amenities. You grew up with all these opportunities. And all you hear is that people don't have opportunities and it's racist and it's systemically and everyone's oppressed and you can't move up and there's all these problems. In your little narrow delusional perspective, but if you just expand it to the entire world, there's no place like it. Plumbing, running water, just crazy. Just crazy. We are very lucky. We are very lucky. So another day to remind ourselves why we're so lucky and that there's a lot of people out there that don't appreciate it, but that's not you. You appreciate it. Appreciate your opportunity to make some sick fucking gains today too. That's true, John. Most people don't continue to educate themselves after high school or college. I've learned everything after college. I didn't learn much in school. I really didn't. I learned most about like training and nutrition, all that stuff after I graduated. I've learned pretty much everything from like that point from in college, from not when I was in the classrooms. It's crazy. It's like I learned most of this shit when I wasn't in the classroom. It was when I was training in the gym and trying things out and applying it and learning and experiencing it. And then afterwards, after graduating, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. For most things, it's the education system is unfortunately, education's fantastic. The education system that we have is mostly a waste of time. It's unfortunate. I think back to like what I learned. It's like, oof. There's certain things that are good that you're exposed to, but it could be compressed in a fraction of the time. It could be much more efficient. It could be much more useful. It could be much more useful. Anyway, never stop learning facts. And here's the thing about school. In closing, you should never stop learning. But what school does is it gets kids hating learning. It gets kids to never want to read a book because you read and you're exposed to all this shit that sucks all the time. It makes you not want to read. It makes you not want to learn because it's so miserable in school while you're doing it. You never want to do it when you're outside. Like once you graduate, like, oh my God, I never have to, like you have those books like, oh, you just never want to open a book again. You don't want to learn. You just don't want to do it because they make you hate it. And that's what you think learning is. That's what you think education is. So a lot of it turns people off from learning, unfortunately. It's such a miserable experience. Such a miserable experience that you don't want to continue. And then it keeps the population dumb because then you don't learn anything really while you're in it. You get brainwashed and then you don't continuously learn, and then you're a sub your whole life. Lady Hawk, Papa, I was a nutritional biochemistry major in college, and most of it was government propaganda lies, 70 plus K of lies. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Fortunately for me, I invested my time when I wasn't in class into training and learning and reading everything I could about making gains and lifting and building muscle and bodybuilding and stuff like that. So I did it all on my own. I'm not saying I didn't learn some stuff and that I wasn't exposed to some things in class, but on my own, for sure. It's just unfortunate. So the school system is a school system, but you really, really have to make sure that your kids learn. They know how to learn. They know how to unlearn, and that they enjoy gathering new information. You need to keep and really that's about curiosity. It's about making kids curious and keeping kids curious. And unfortunately, the school system is designed to just beat the curiosity out of them. They don't ask questions, they repeat. Oh, tell me what to say. What's the answer? The answer is far. The answer is this. Green. The answer is this country, Russia. Just repeat after me. Fill in the blank, multiple choice. Like it beats the question like, hey, why? That's a beautiful thing. When you have kids and they're saying why and it's annoying, you want that. You want to maintain that curiosity. It's like, hey, I'm curious. And if you're curious, guess what? You're going to want, what is curiosity? Curiosity is like, I want to find out more about that. I want to look at that. Why is that? What's going on here? What's the answer? How come that happens? How come that does this when this does that? Like, oh, let me see. What if I do this? Oh, that happens. What if I do that? Then this happens. Oh, that's what curiosity is. And school just beats out curiosity. You have to follow. You have to walk in a line. You have to be here at this time. The bell rings. You're here. You're taught this. You answer this. You sit here. You do as you're told. You're quiet. You speak when you're spoken to. Blah, blah, blah. It's stupid. It's archaic. It's irrelevant. And homeschool your kids. All right. Let's get into today's Swole card. Most people don't. Let's fucking go. Swole card time. That was nice. We got a winner. Is that Amy Rues the World? Do you rue the world or do you rule the world? And are you on the range right now? Because I see the headgear. Amy rules the world? I don't know. Do you rue the world or do you rule the world? Either way, you want a Swole card. Congratulations, Amy. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2406 in the subject, your mailing address, and the body of the email, and we'll send you this Swole card, fam. We'll take some soundboard requests. My God, that was lit. Yeah, stay away from those liver shits.
Mr. Strickland.
Fantastic, fam-wise. We'll be back here tomorrow for 2407. Thanks for being here. Congratulations, Amy. Somebody else rules the world, so I rue it. I hear you. I hear you.
Using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I am the danger.
Loud noises!
Nothing like an early morning Swolecast. We'll be back here tomorrow for another. My little church. I'm a tanky man.
Oh.
Little Forrest Gump, I gotcha.
My name's Forrest Gump.
The best way to start the day with Papa the Fan.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
What are you looking at, butthead?
Oh my God, John. Papa Swolio, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, John. The problem is 48 years old and no one believes me. I love it.
Inconceivable!
48 years old. Let them disbelieve. Come on, man.
He's on fire!
What the fuck is that? I am the danger.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kid used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again.
How's he doing it? Yep, no piano. No hands. No hands. You know how? You know how? I did it with my motherfucking dick.
Because stickers?
Crank that bad boy. Hold on. Jesus Christ. That beast. That beast. What a monster. Fam, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Anywhere you bang your ear holes, even if you watch the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Helps a lot. And of course, when you join the Swole fam, you get access to Swole Text. You'll get an alert notification whenever we go live. And yeah, now you can turn your phone off. You don't need to have your notifications on. You don't need to worry about when the show's coming. We're live. We're done. And it's up to you now to make some sick fucking gains and to carry the 7 pillars onward. So we'll see you tomorrow for 24/07. Love you, fam. And we'll see you inside the Swole Fam Telegram chat. Links all in the description down below to join the Swole Fam and so much more. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no